Do you enjoy living in a litter pan? I don't either. You know, we could put our attention on those elimination mistakes, should we call them that? But we're going to make a lot more improvement if instead we set our young kittens and our cats up for good bathroom etiquette. And there are some great ways of doing it, and the time is right as soon as you get a new kitten. But you can make improvements at any point along the way, just remembering that cats can be a little resistant to change of any kind at all. Has anybody here had that problem with cats who, it's such a big problem that, people, that's the biggest reason that people relinquish their cats and take them to shelters. They think they've tried everything to solve this elimination, this house soiling problem, and they start to believe that some other home would be a better fit for their cat. Don't go down that path. We can solve almost every one of these. Well, gentlemen, Carolyn, if you'll give me a couple little cat treats, I think I could probably entice these young fellows up onto the desk so that people can recognize who they are. And by the way, in case we haven't met, I'm veterinarian Dr. Jeff Nickel. Thank you very much. Oh, and there's Gaston and Tony. He found the piece of cat food on the floor there, and there we go. Tony, here, baby. Tony, here, come on up here. Come on. That's a good boy. And this is Miss America, the Nickel Family Border Collie, but this isn't about dogs today. This is about cats. Gaston here is about 4 years old. Actually, it's closer to 5. Tony is 14, and they're both doing pretty darn well. So, this elimination problem. This is a big problem, and it's more than just one or two things that you change around your house that straightens this thing out. And there's a lot of research on it. It is the most common behavior problem in pet cats. And so let me read you the abstract from a paper here called, and I will show you the front of it. This is from the Journal of Veterinary Behavior. And this is a field assessment of cats' litter box substrate preferences. So a substrate is the stuff that a cat eliminates on. The stuff that you put in the litter pan. Or if you're an outdoor cat, it's, the dirt or the sand that you dig in. And of course, there are some cats who don't seem to care. I had one cat in my life who, I ran out of litter a couple of times, and I just went outside and got some dirt and put it in the litter pan. He was fine. He didn't care. But on the other hand, guys like Tony here, the gray fellow, he has had his challenges with soiling, and we're pretty much under control right now. And I'm going to talk about a lot of the things we can do and try to do with our cats so that they can make the choice, because they have their own built-in preferences. And by the way, Tony, we got this little guy as a baby, and you'd think, oh, it was all about his exposures before we had him. No, we've had him pretty much all his life. So let me read to you the abstract here. This is really important stuff. Cats living inside a home without any possibility of outdoor access have to defecate in a litter box. And let me expound on that for just a minute. By the way, if you can hear me loud and clear, will you hit the wow button just so that I know that we don't have technical difficulties? And if you've tuned in, please let me know you're here. Put your name in and tell me where you're from if we've never met, because I'd love to know that, I've got folks sharing this experience with me. And if you find this helpful, hit the heart button. That would be great. So cats living inside a home, that's a different environment, isn't it? Our cats they're domestic pets, and they certainly belong with us, but they're sort of wild animals too at the same time. And they can eke out an existence just fine by, thank you, Carolyn. Can I have a few more kitty treats? And, oh, Rita, you're here. Wonderful. Rita, I'm so glad you're here. Rita is a cat lover, and any cat person, whether you've had this kind of predicament in the past or not, you might if you have enough cats in your life. And Rita, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. So, if you're an outdoor cat, of course, the world is your sandbox. There's always a fresh, unused place that you can go and scratch and eliminate, thank you for the hearts, and bury it and move on. What you don't ever have to do if you're a free-living feral cat is go to a stinky, soggy place that is completely disgusting. Okay, And a lot of people aren't paying close enough attention to their litter pans. That's one of the big problems with all this. So the litter box has to be clean, and I think you sent me a message. All right, hold on here. You know that, there it is.
I forgot to swipe.
You forgot to do what?
I forgot to swipe left.
Oh, I see. Well, I've got cats walking in front of me now. Let's see. Well, I'm trying to find Rita's question.
Okay, I can find it.
Would you? All right. Thank you. I don't know.
Just a second.
Okay. So the litter box has to be clean and in a calm spot, easily accessible to the cat. People sometimes make the mistake of putting the litter pans in their house in high traffic areas. And if you have other pets, if you have children especially, oh, thanks, Carolyn. So I'll have the big one then. Okay. Do you want the little one?
Yeah, hand me the
Okay. All right. We're a family of many iPads here, actually, 2. Okay, there it is. Oh, and Kitty Girl says hi. I am so glad that the Kitty Girl is still doing fine. Rita, how old is Kitty Girl now? I've known this little cat for years and years and years, almost as long as Rita and her husband Rob have. And they don't even live in Albuquerque anymore. So it has to be in a calm spot, easily accessible to the cat. And we're going to talk about how a litter pan that might look completely accessible isn't because of inter-cat politics. You think the American government has got political problems. You should see some of the households with cats. Then it has to be a size that fits the cat. And the number of litter boxes has to be correlated with the number of cats. And we'll get very specific about that too. The box should contain a substrate, again, the stuff, the litter in the pan, that allows the cat to comfortably dig in it. Comfortable is a big word. And the box should be of a size and litter of a style that the cat can defecate in without soiling itself in the process. You know, again, people don't think about this because, you know, they're not in the pan with the cat, unless, of course, your cat is defecating and urinating all over your house, then you are in the litter pan. Okay? The litter should be sufficiently absorbent and manage odor. These are just fundamentals. Now, they went on to describe their study, and I'll just, without going through all those details, let me give you the takeaway here. Kitty Girl says hi, and she is 19 and a half. 19 years young. Isn't that what Willard Scott used to say? Okay. So here was the study. 3 strictly identical uncovered litter boxes were presented to the cats. Each box contained one of the substrates, and there were 3 choices. Clay granules, the old-fashioned clay litter, of course you can still get it. Silica in microgranules, this is typically the clumping litter. And wood pellets, which seems natural to people. People also use, cedar chips, and they use wheat and a variety of things. The cats demonstrated a significant preference for the clay or silicate substrates as opposed to the wood pellets. The cats showed a significant inclination to defecate into the clay substrate instead of the silicate substrate. Now, let me say something about research here. These are well-organized, well-managed, robust studies, but there are other ones that are equally sound and well-developed projects that have shown that most cats prefer, that most cats prefer clumping litter. And so which is it? You know, in a broad sense, there is more research supporting the greater preference for clumping litter, but every cat is an individual. And so at our house, for example, we have 2 cats. You have seen them both. This is Gaston here, and he is, Beth is watching too. Beth, thank you for attending. Beth is somebody else I've known for a very long time. In fact, Beth, do you remember Rita and Kitty Girl? I think you folks were with me at the same time. I don't know. Maybe you guys know each other from, back in the day. So anyway, what we've got is a situation in our house where all cat households, if you have 1 cat, you should have 1 litter pan per cat plus 1. So a 1-cat household should have 2 litter pans, and a 2-cat household like ours should have 3. And these rules are typically for cat households where the cats are strictly indoors, which these 2 little guys are not. They are in and out a lot of the time. We have 3/4 of an acre in what's considered the North Valley of Albuquerque. It's near the Rio Grande, and it's sort of semi-rural. We have, people with livestock living around here, and we've got a big yard, and these cats stay in the yard, and they have a border collie who doesn't let anybody else come in. So, they're safe. Never had a problem with them. But they are, they've got access to the outside to use the great outdoors for litter box, but they both use the indoor litter pans significantly, especially Tony. And so we've got a great big pan in one area. Here's another one. This is a fairly good sized pan that we have, and I can make it look even bigger by putting it closer to the camera. And the kind of litter that we have in here is clumping. I have 2 different brands of clumping litter, and because I have tried the others with these guys, and they are more prone to use clumping litter. Now, the old clay litter, there are some cats who don't like it because if you look carefully at those little chunks of baked clay, they're pretty hard and angular and have little pointy, pokey protrusions on them, which I would not want on my paws. Thank you. So, so this house is the clumping that works better. We have a big litter pan in one room. We have this a little bit smaller one in another. We have both cats, especially Tony, enjoy going out to the garage to just hang out, crawl around on my tools and on the car and all that stuff. Get up on the water heater because it's warm. And we have a litter pan out there. And we have one more litter pan. It's a self-cleaning litter pan called a litter robot. And they go inside that one. But unlike normal covered litter pans, it does not trap odor or prevent me from seeing in it to scoop it out because it dumps itself into a tray down below. But all litter pans, unless they're self-cleaning, you need to check them twice a day and you need to scoop them. And again, that's what makes clumping better because it scoops out the stool and the urine with the scooper, unlike other kinds of litter where you sort of have to throw out the whole darn thing every time it's used. And this is another real important fundamental of litter pan management in cats to, again, set them up for success, to eliminate the risk. Well, we don't eliminate. We drastically reduce the risk that they're going to start urine or fecal soiling some other place in the house, is that we make it really easy for them to do the right thing. So here's the conclusion of this study, by the way. It says, cat owners should take special care when it comes to choosing and offering an adequate location, type of litter box, and type of substrate or litter for the defecation of their animal. And by the way, this study, they try to really narrow these things. So this was about fecal behavior, defecating in the litter pan or in the wrong place. Many other studies are just urination, and many of those talks about the type of litter that they prefer to urinate in as opposed to defecate in. Most cats it doesn't matter, but there are a few that it does. So the data show that large boxes are preferable, and every single time a study is done on litter boxes, the bigger ones are more prone to get used. Some people go to like Target or Walmart and get these big sweater boxes that are meant for storing things like sweaters in the summertime. And you take the plastic lid and you recycle that. And then you get your utility knife, thank you for the hearts, and you cut down one side to make it easy for the cats to get in and out. But big litter pans, uncovered, are typically better. Now, covered litter pans, you think, well, I don't have to look at that stinky stuff. Well, you don't want to fool yourself. You want to make it easy for yourself to twice daily check the pans and notice if anything's been used, you can scoop it out. The trouble with lids is often that they tend to trap odors, and that's no fun either. And boys, why the heck are you still on the floor over there? I need my cats up here. This is all about cats, and my cats are like not with me. Now, there's other things you can do to improve the attractiveness of the litter pan. Here's a product called Litter Attractant. It used to go by the brand name Cat Attract. Dr. Elsie's. I don't know if there really is such a person as Dr. Elsie, and if there is, I don't even know if he's a veterinarian. But you can get the Ultra Litter Attractant, Dr. Elsie's. Now, Dr. Elsie's also has litter, and you can buy the bag with litter with the litter attractant in it. We're not really sure why this stuff works, I'll be honest with you. It's not a supplement, it's not medication, it isn't a pheromone. It's a plant-based kind of thing. But there's no question that when Tony was reluctant to use the litter pan, every time I scoop it out, I sprinkle a little bit of the Ultra Litter Attractant, from Dr. Elsey's on there. Seems to improve his willingness to use it. So I use it because he has had a problem with this. He has not defecated outside the pan. He has urinated. And he has had preferences for urinating on plastic, if you leave on plastic. Other types of things can be a problem. So we keep those litter pans, all of them, scrupulously clean, and he gets to go outside. And he is doing fine right now. But, we're always watching. So we have 2 cats. And these guys don't necessarily get along that well. They don't have knockdown, drag-out fights with injuries. But the problem, even with their little skirmishes and dust-ups, is that they'll start to threaten each other a little bit and hiss. And you think, well, no harm, no foul, right? Except that there's this element of stress involved in this. And of course, Miss America here, the Border Collie, she brings out her policeman badge and she comes up between them and goes, now you gentlemen, stop this behavior. She actually does that. But there is an element of stress in that. And that brings me up to another point, is people tend to get too darn many cats. I mean, I love cats. And in my work, there are just opportunities to adopt a new cat just about every week. And you can make the mistake of stressing your cats by crowding them. If you're going to have more than one cat, they typically do much better if you adopt them at about the same age and at about the same time. And younger cats, and younger is better, are more likely to get along well if they're combined in the same household. And one of the most common signs of stress among cats in a home is house soiling. So if you're getting a new kitten, or you just have a new kitten, your best, and here's Tony, I've put this litter pan on the floor and he's going to use it right now. And there's never been a litter pan in my upstairs office here, but by golly, he's going to do it. So he's an opportunist. Now, there are other factors. Some cats, it's a very important thing that the depth of the litter be just the way they want it. And so if you're going to have more than one litter pan available, and you certainly need to, you can experiment with different depths and different kinds of litter, and buy the one that the cat is more prone to use. That's really a big part of setting them up for success. That and litter pans that are kept clean. And once a week, you dump out that clumping litter or whatever type of litter you're using, wash the pan. I let it soak with a little bit of detergent, and then I rinse it, scrub it, and rinse it carefully, dry it, and put new litter once a week, because it gets stinky and they don't want to use it. I mean, have you ever gone to a bathroom, a public restroom, and say, "Ooh, not for me. I'll get back in the car and head down the interstate and look for the next one"? Well, men aren't usually that fussy. But even I've driven on sometimes going, "No, I'll get cooties if I go in there." Well, cats are really like that. And so you don't want them eliminating in the wrong part of your house just because they can't stand the litter pan selection that you have. And I can't overstress the importance of getting this whole thing set into motion properly when they're babies, right from the get-go if you can. And so if you have just one cat, I'd have 3 litter pans. And if you have 2, I'd have 4. You just can't have too many. Don't line them all up next to each other. That doesn't reduce stress at all. They need to be in different locations in your home and always in the same ones. Now, here's a problem that can occur when you have more than one cat. Sometimes one cat will lay in wait, not necessarily next to a litter pan, but near it, and ambush the other guy. Really? Why would they do that? Well, because cats are natural predators. They are obligate predators. And what that means is that they have to prey on some creature that moves, something with a pulse. And again, if you have indoor cats, unless your home is infested with rodents, and I hope it isn't, but if it isn't, your cats don't have enough stuff to do that is natural and essential to them. And you say, but wait, I feed my cat the best quality diet. This cat does not want for tasty, excellent, high digestibility food. Oh, I get it, but it doesn't move, does it? Okay, it doesn't move quickly and try to evade capture. And cats need to chase prey. So if the only, moving creature that they can prey on is the other cat, then they'll lay in wait and ambush like they would with a mouse, and they'll pounce on the other cat when it's trying to use the litter pan. And so the lower status, frightened, little furtive little nervous victim cat in the group, that very often is the one who is house soiling, in part because it has associated fear with the litter pan, because it's been intimidated at the litter pan. So what do you do about that? Well, first thing you have to do is find out if that's the case. And you can go on the internet, and for about 15 or 20 bucks, you can get one of these little short little tripods that you can put a smartphone in, and you can park this thing near the litter pan, because when you come along and say, is anybody ambushing the other guy at this litter pan? Is everyone behaving himself? And everybody's going, oh, I'm fine. No, we're getting along fine, Dad. No, don't fall for that foolishness. Leave a video camera on and find out what's going on. And you sometimes might be surprised. And what we do sometimes is we'll have a litter pan only for the low-ranking cat. And we can put that in a particular room. And in fact, you can go to the invisible fence people, and they can set you up with a little invisible fence shield, and the bully cat can wear a receiver collar that won't let him into the room where the other guy just can go at his free will or her free will and use the litter pan. There are ways of doing this, and you have to gather information. But absolutely every cat needs a place where they can feel safe and comfortable eliminating. And sometimes people say, well, if I used a covered litter pan, then the other cat could go in there and he wouldn't see anybody bothering him. They actually can get ambushed that way too. So we're not big proponents of covered litter pans, but big sweater boxes with tall sides, they really do prefer those, and they're more prone to using them. If we don't keep litter pans clean, and we don't have enough of them, and they're not in places that a cat considers safe, then without meaning to, we're setting our cats up for failure. You want to make it easy for them to do the right thing. And yeah, cleaning a litter pan, is that a big deal? Well, not really. I'm the guy in this family who does it, and I've been doing it for years, and it's part of my life. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, Susan Lintz is here. Bring them on camera. I know. Well, here's Tony. Tony, would you look at the camera here? And Gaston, you're on the floor looking out the door. Carolyn, can I have a couple more kitty treats? Because Susan wants to see our cats, and darn it, I think she should. And Jama is here too. Wow. And Martha, you're here. Well, and Isabella. That's wonderful. I'm so glad everybody came. Here he comes. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Part of the problem here is that we've been doing these Facebook Lives for a couple of years now, every Thursday, or almost every Thursday. And these cats are so accustomed to this thing that, we put little dry cat food, what we call kitty crack, because they just can't seem to live without it. They typically eat canned food because it's higher moisture, reduces the risk of urinary problems. And so when they get a little bit of this crunchy, dry stuff, they jump up on the table, and then if it's not on the table and they've eaten it all, they jump back down again. So anyway, that's what goes on here. So if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to put them in the comment line right now. And if you have questions later, you're very welcome to send them to me on my Facebook page. And I'm really glad that you've shared this time with me to talk about cats. And I just want to point something out I like to remind people of, that the love that we have for our pets, that actually is a very positive thing in our world. We pet lovers, we pet parents, we have to have empathy because they don't speak a human language. And there are some very big differences between cats and humans, and between dogs and people too. And you have to listen and pay attention so that you can manage them in ways that their little species can understand, because we're never going to teach them to speak human. But we are smarter. We may not feel like it sometimes. But we actually can learn canine or feline leadership and good management. And all we have to do is pay attention and listen, and attend my Facebook Live events, of course. And so if you want to get these in your email box every Tuesday morning, all you have to do is subscribe to my website. Go to drjeffnickel.com, drjeffnicol.com. At the bottom of the homepage, you can subscribe. Costs nothing. Just put your email address in there. Every Tuesday morning, you get my Facebook Live from the week previous, and what we call a media blog nowadays. It's my newspaper column from the Albuquerque Journal from the week previous, every Tuesday. And by the way, when you do subscribe, I will send you at no charge pet first aid and CPR guide that I have developed from my many years in general medicine and doing emergency work, but it's all from very well-researched text material, but I bullet pointed it so it's easy to understand the symptoms that the pet is showing and what to do about it right now. So that's pretty handy. It's worth printing out. So I hope you find this information useful, and you're welcome to share this video with any of your cat-loving friends. And I hope that you'll build a foundation for your pets. And again, especially when you get a new kitten or a new puppy, build a foundation for trust and freedom and choice. Because pets will get obstinate if all we try to do is get our needs met. They're like us that way. With leadership, there's got to be something in it for them. People sometimes have made the mistake with cats. They find the litter, or the urine or the stool in the wrong place, and they'll scold the cat. They'll haul the cat over there. Believe it or not, I've had people, and I haven't asked. They've just told me that they've taken the cat over there and pushed the cat's nose in it and hit him on the rear end with a newspaper. And number one, punishment has no value at all if it's not done at the time immediately following the bad behavior. But urinating and defecating is not bad behavior. That is normal. We have to do that. What we need to do is to teach the cats where we want them to do it, and what that's all about is, make it easy for them to do the right thing. But also, when you catch your cat in the litter pan eliminating, you can, don't make a big fuss. Don't bring out the mylar balloons and the bounce house and the party hats. Cats are really not into that. But you can say, you're a good kitty. And, I wouldn't pet them in the litter pan. Just, you're a good cat. And cats do respond to that sort of positive, gentle tone. They are bonded to us, and they want that. And do it while the cat is in the litter pan. You're a good cat. But you want to clean up the litter. There's a great odor eliminator called anti-icky poo if you find any. But if you have a consistent problem with, house soiling, you need to contact me either through my website or on Facebook, and we can have a consultation and figure this out and help you manage that. Because what we've talked about today is really essential for making success possible. But when you've got a behavior disorder, we need to deal with that in very specific ways and custom fit it to the individual. So thanks for sharing this time with me, and I hope everybody shows up again next Thursday night, and I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy at home. Please don't forget to wear your mask. And Tony T, say goodbye to our friends. Tony's right here. There you go. And there's Miss America. And Gastoni's on the floor again because they've eaten all the treats that are on the table. All right, everybody have a great weekend.